guys, it's Jessica from Peace Love Books, and today I'm here with my favorite bad boy romances. So I already did this video about a year ago, and it is one of my most popular videos on my channel. You guys love the bad boys. I love the bad boys. I am going to say, if you clicked on this video and don't like bad boy romances, don't comment. I had some comments on my last video about a year ago, like I said, about these kind of romances and how they're unhealthy, they are abusive, and they should never be written about. These are fictional books, and we like to read about our bad boys. So just know, no, I don't want to date these men, but I love reading their stories, and I love them in their fictional world. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to my favorite bad boys. These are the guys that have damaged pasts. They are broken and mean and really standoffish when it comes to the women in the beginning of the book, but typically they realize they actually really like the girl and tend to change, because all those books are always the girl thinks they can change the bad boy, whether that happens or not. But I have a list of books, quite a few, different from my previous video. I'll link that down below. And I will say I have talked about a lot of these before, but these are just a compiled list of bad boy romances that I love. The first book I have is probably by the first well-known bad boy author, and that is Midnight Blue by L.J. Shen. Yes, I have another book by her that you all know is going to be next on this list, but L.J. Shen writes really good bad boys. This one is actually a musician, and his name is Alex, and he is really not in a good place. He is into drugs, alcohol, girls, and he keeps on needing handlers as a musician to control him and make sure he doesn't get in trouble on tour. And so no one's lasted, so they hire Indigo. She really needs the money, and so she takes the job, and she is determined to wrangle this bad boy because of her family back home. And so she goes on tour, she's trying to make him behave, and it's their romance, and there's a lot of cute rock star stuff going on. So he's writing some songs, he's still a bad boy, he's so mean to her because he wants her to go away and for him to just be able to do whatever he wants. I loved it. If you like a rock star romance, you will love this book. The next one you all know is coming is Vicious by L.J. Shen. This is about Vicious, who is part of the Hot Holes, I think is what they call themselves. I think they're 4 guys, and they all met in high school and they're best friends. And the help at his house, the main couple have a daughter named Amelia, and she just rubs him the wrong way, and he is so mean to her in high school because he actually really likes her and makes her life miserable. And so we're flashing forward, I think like 8 years, 5 years, I don't remember, but he is like the head of a company with his best friends, super wealthy obviously because that's what he grew up as, and she's working in New York with her sister, and she needs money for her sister, kind of like a similar trope as Midnight Blue, but she gets an offer from Vicious to work for him. And so she does. And he is still a jerk to her, but she needs to help her sister, and he is still infatuated with her and hates it, so he's mean to her. So this is like the quintessential bad boy in Vicious. I have not read the rest of the series. I'm pretty sure they're all bad boy romances, but this one, classic bad boy romance. The next one I have is the only non-contemporary on this list, and that is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. This is a fantasy romance, paranormal romance. They are fae, and she's a siren, so I don't know what category that would fall under. But Callie's a siren, and she has been calling on the bargainer ever since she was young in school, and the bargainer bargains, and so she owes him favors, and so now she hasn't seen him in a few years, and he has arrived to call back on those favors. And he is a dangerous guy, he's very mysterious, she doesn't really know a lot about him, but she comes to learn more, and he is determined to make her pay back her favors in different ways. That's all I'm gonna say. He definitely has a reputation. He is very much a bad boy, but kind of misunderstood, so I really loved his character. I really love this book. If you are a fan of The Cruel Prince and that kind of romance, you would love this in a new adult setting. The next few are biker romances, which I can't believe I forgot on my last video, and the first one is It Ain't Me Babe by Tilly Cole. This is about a guy who's actually mute, and so he uses sign language, and the girl is from a cult. I love romances with cults. I don't know if you guys have, I know I've said that before, but for some reason I just like am intrigued by that. And so she is obviously escapes from her cult, and they had actually met when they were a lot younger, and so it's their romance, and he is used to being in this biker lifestyle where he is mean and he does mean stuff that kind of hurts her feelings, but that's his lifestyle, and she is just like totally innocent and has no idea anything about this lifestyle. So really good though, and I definitely need to finish the series. I've only read the first book and I loved it so much. Haven't read the rest, but they're all biker romances, so this is definitely bad boy. The next one I'm going to talk about together briefly because I talk about these all the time, and that is the Fallen Men series by Gianna Darling, specifically the first two books, because the third one's about a police officer and it's more the girl is like the bad girl in the sense, and so these are about the two guys in the motorcycle gang. This is Zeus, who is actually King's father, and then the third one is King's sister and Zeus's daughter with a police officer. So these are really good. Super age gaps. His is with a teacher and his is with a girl his daughter's age. So they are both though in the motorcycle life, so that's more why they're bad boys. I would say King is definitely less of a bad boy though, because he's like kind of like a tortured soul. He loves English and poetry, and he's trying to get together with his teacher and show her that he loves her. So this one though, Zeus was in jail, and so he's killed people and he needs to not be with a girl his daughter's age, but he can't help it. So this is so good, and it's about welcome to the dark side, so obviously he's kind of part of the dark side. So amazing bad boy romances. The next one I actually haven't finished reading yet, but I am so obsessed with it right now that I have to talk about it while I'm filming this, and that is Enthralled by Gianna Darling. This is part of a duet, and it is a very dark romance. It's actually a girl who is sold into like sex slavery, but to a single man who's a lord in England. So he bought her because her father is in debt to the mafia kind of thing. Like, I'm so bad with terminology with the mafia romances, but she then has to be a sex slave to this man, and it's their romance. Very dark. He is a very hard and cold man because of things. I'm learning more right now, and I'm freaking out right now about what's going on in this book, but it's definitely a dark romance and very much dom-sub romance because she is the slave, he is the master. But it's really good so far. Definitely dark romance. So be prepared for that when you read this. Then is the next favorite that I talk about all the time, and that is King by T.M. Frazier. Pretty much this whole series is all bad boys. This one specifically, they treat their women not so nicely, but their women make them into better people. And so this one is King and Doe woke up not knowing who she is, and she's just friends with a prostitute right now, and her prostitute takes her to King's party and says, find a man, a biker, and they will take care of you. She finds King instead, and it's their romance. He's so angry and mean, but it's so good, and this one ends on a cliffhanger that's crazy, so you have to read book 2, and then you want to read Bear's book. I've still only read 3 books in the series, so I really need to fix that. I need to just like read them all like over the summer, in a month, in a week. I need to finish the series. This is really good. The next one, this author was pretty much half the list in my last video, and that is Killswitch by Penelope Douglas. This one is on this list though because this is Damon's book, and Damon is literally the villain of the first 2 books. You cannot get more bad boy than getting the villain story of the series. He does really bad things in book 1, and he's still a villain in book 2, and you don't know how the heck Penelope Douglas is gonna make you want to read the villain's love story. I loved it. I was obsessed with Damon. I wanted his relationship to work out. It was freaked me out at some points because our main character, something about her makes her situation kind of scary, and Damon kind of plays on that. I don't want to ruin anything, but it's freaky. And so I was like freaking out the whole time, edge of my seat, didn't know what was gonna happen, but I wanted them to be together. So if anybody can write a villain romance, it's definitely Penelope Douglas. The next one is kind of stretching it, and it's very tame compared to all these other ones I've talked about, and that is The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. This is about a girl named Calla who has had a really bad relationship with her father. He lives in Alaska. She's in the continental US with her mother, and she gets a phone call saying her dad's dying, and so she decides to go out and visit him. He owns a plane company, and he's a pilot, and so she gets there and meets Jonah, who is so mean to her, and he literally like loses her luggage on purpose. And so it's really funny, and he pushes her away, but there's a reason why he's really mean to her, and she's kind of trying to relearn her father again. Her father and her mother didn't work out because of how rough life in Alaska is, and she's kind of living that and learning that. And it's really good. Jonah is just like so fun to love because he's so mean to her in the beginning and so angry at her, but he's not really a bad boy, but he kind of is to her. So that's why I've included this. I love this book so much. Definitely read it, especially if you're interested in like life in Alaska. You have to read this. And those are some of my favorite bad boy romances. Let me know down below your favorite bad boy romances. I would absolutely love to hear because I definitely need to read more of them. And that's all I have. As always, thanks so much for watching and have a good day. Bye.